Welcome, everyone. Joe with ECRM and RangeMe here. And with me today is Chithra Kannan, who is the founder and CEO of Centrick, a brand which has had tremendous success already on ECRM and RangeMe. And today we're going to unpack some of the reasons behind that success, including Chitra's strong background in business analytics and how she's kind of applied that to all aspects of her business. So, thank you so much for joining us. And to get started, give us a little background on your business analytics experience and how it led to the origin of SkinCentric.
Thank you, Joe. I'm happy to share the screen with you. And hello, everybody. I'm happy to share a little story about me with you all. Analytics, I was a little hesitant before joining it. Like I already have done two masters, busy with other entrepreneurial stuff, and I was working in a corporate world. I was a little hesitant whether I needed to take it in, but luckily COVID, so I could stay home and then I could do most of the stuff, and that's how I started doing it. Analytics, I had a little bit of an idea of how things work, like the ghosts, the networking effects, the internet networking effects. And data and statistics are two important things for anything in
Mhm.
place. So after getting a peek of analytics, I did understand like it's an awesome game. Like that way we could able to see what the data look like, what our customers really feel about certain things, and where is there is always a space where you say that's unexposed, right, or
Mhm.
that's been not touched by many,
Mhm.
right? So with this data I could able to see skincare brand name, and as I have always said, when we take A to Z, every single alphabet has different brands, and
Mhm.
how skin centric could do anything different. And this data really helped me. So when I looked at the data, there is always customers looking for something new. That is one. And why that search is coming? Because there is still some area that's not been tried out yet. And like as globally we are all moving into natural and clean, I felt that space I could able to poke into it and started collecting data. And then I felt, okay, probably skin centric could be a solution covering that area, and I could make the customers happy, and as a brand, we could grow too.
Gotcha. So, and yeah, natural and clean beauty is becoming more and more of an important thing for consumers. They're really cognizant of the ingredients they put in and on their bodies. They're a lot more aware of specific ingredients now. I think the pandemic had a lot to do with it because they had more time to kind of research brands and they spent a lot more time online following different influencers. So they learned a lot more. They're a little more educated about ingredients. So that's all very consistent and they learned a lot about they got a lot more aware of health and impacts of things on their health during that time as well. So that kind of helped push that clean beauty thing even the velocity even further. So, so you studied, you got your degree in business analytics at Harvard. You applied that to analyzing, what's out there, what's trending. What led you into beauty to begin with, the beauty category? Because you do a lot of other businesses too in different areas. So,
Uh, there is an inside story coming into this beauty segment. I am kind of a person, I always like to look my natural. It's not that I have said this in many interviews. I have not educated myself much into the cosmetic worlds or how to do makeup, and I haven't tried any of those on me. So
mhm,
what I started doing, and I've started trying different brands and from top dollars, and also my family, they were just making fun. Instead of spending all your money on different cosmetics, why don't you start your own brand? And as I was
mhm,
saying, as a kid, I remember me waking up to the exact same brand every single morning, like take a toothpaste for an instant. So
mhm,
when that runs out, I would see the exact same one fell back from my parents. Take a soap or anything. Today, that's not the word. The reason
mhm,
being is there are many with the different ads, and same like our kids, I think even we are getting attracted to all these ads and stuff. So I was also trying different beauty brands, different skincare and all that. And when I look for natural, clean, sustainability, I didn't get the big variety or range on it, or even if
Hmm.
I have to spend the top dollars. And I was thinking how I could able to do both in a better way. Like you don't want it to break your bank at the same time, you don't want it to make any harm to the planet. So
Hmm.
all this made me start my own beauty brand.
That's it's funny how that happens, right? You have that gap in something that you want. You just
Uh-huh.
can't find something to fulfill that need. And then obviously, if it's a need for you, there's probably likely a lot of other people that have that need as well. So you just make it on your own. And you're right. There are people do get into the habit of you find something, you stick with it. For me, you mentioned toothpaste. I used the same toothpaste and soap for years, but then once I started doing research on the skin microbiome and the mouth microbiome, I was like, okay.
Olden days, we didn't even have that many choices. There were very
Hmm.
few brands, like as a kid. So, and our parents were like very focused. Okay, if this is what it is, and today there are different things. There is one with Apple, there is one with dinosaur, and today they
Hmm.
would be get attracting with cars. Tomorrow it's motorcycle, and they do have
Yep.
it. It's good that there are different options, so they could try, but at the same time, like we needed to keep pace with it. So some
Hmm.
things like if we take toothpaste, before one runs out, I have four lining in the countertop. So it's good and bad. Everything has its own pros and cons.
Yeah, yeah. So I found some new brands to use myself that I've been pretty happy with, but it was only in the past couple of years that I kind of made the switch. But yeah, I will. Fortunately for me, I go to a lot of ECRM sessions. I get a lot of samples that I could try, and so I discover a lot of new brands that way. And I've actually taken on some new brands, personally in the food space and maybe skincare, personal care, things like that. So yeah, so take us through the product lineup of Skin Centric. Tell us a little bit about the products, the ingredients, and what you offer, because I know you have a fairly extensive line.
Yes, like we do have around 30 products today, and the different product line are we have a skincare, hair care, lip care, and that list is gonna grow. It's not
Hmm.
gonna stop here, it's gonna grow. Like fem care is something that feminine care is something that we are planning to launch and all that. Our main categories are serums and oils. So when we take serums and oil, anybody or anyone can think of different serums. We have it, and that's what we wanted to see how we could bring that to the table.
Hmm.
And with that, we all know very few line of serums, like say, okay, vitamin C or retinol or some of the popular ones. This is all we know. So we tried to take a deeper into it. And initially, we started off with the turmeric addition. So some call turmeric, some call turmeric. The actual word
Hmm.
is like turmeric is it's
Yeah.
noun and you can pronounce it anyway. So started our line is turmeric. We all know what benefits turmeric could
Hmm.
bring to the body. And now with the trends, when I analyzed it, turmeric is something that's a very popular search word. And not now 6 months or a year back when I searched it in the past 52 weeks from the year when I launched, that was a very popular word. So everybody wanted to add turmeric. And when we looked into it, it was available in one of two, maybe a cream, maybe a
Hmm.
ointment. That's what it was available. I felt like, how about we give this in different areas? So then we started off with turmeric oil, which can be used as a makeup remover in a natural way. We don't want it to use any chemical, and that's an organic line. And take a cleanser that's no sulfate, no paraben. It's just a clear cleanser with turmeric and aloe vera or all right. One other cool thing we started doing it when we look into the website or whenever you look at the different pictures of us, our products, you would see the ingredient, the main ingredient that goes into the product. Like if you
Hmm.
say a turmeric oil, there is a little bit of like the turmeric, like the ginger, all that is within
Hmm.
the package and you could able to see it. So the niacinamide, there was mushroom in it. So everybody started curious, like asking us like, what does that mushroom do? It has a mushroom extract that's been added in. So it's something a different approach we tried to do. So just the peak of look at the product and then the main picture, they could see what component or what ingredients goes about it. And that's where you would see different skincare line, hair care line, and the lip care. When I talk about lip care, we did come up with the lip stain, but it's not a lipstick. It's based on the pH. The same one would go different depending on the night, depending on the mood, it brings in the different colors. So whatever you see on my lips, even that's not anything. It's also skin centric. It's not lipstick, and it's a lip stain.
Gotcha. So I could see the business analytics playing its part in and how you pick some of the ingredients. You find that spot. You find what's like on the verge of blowing up, and
Yes.
you get into that. So now is that your approach? Like as you continue to develop new products, right? You mentioned you're going to add more products to the line. Tell us a little bit about your approach because I find that fascinating how you kind of analyze everything and get into and select where you're going to go.
Well, I'm glad that you asked me this question. I was sometimes these articles, even though we do give interviews
Mhm.
for articles, when we read about it, it make us look, okay, wow, that they have taken, just because we give an interview, they don't just publish it. Even in these
Mhm.
articles, they have to do their background checks, their data, they're collecting statistic. And then Associated Press and recently official Europe, they did write a story about skin centric. And the word they have mentioned is Chithra Kannan, the founder and CEO, is like picking unique strategy. She's catching up and then she's growing in a record pace. And I was like,
Mhm.
okay, that is something that everyone looking at, right? So my approach, like it's very simple. So anything, in case if we wanted to sustain, first is a competitive world, and success is not something that what do we see from the growth or anything. It's just how you are empowered and how you could able to educate the customers and then sticking with it. And
Mhm.
what success means to me, it cannot be the same to you. Success is something that it's different for different people. So the way that we thought is like, first is identifying that gap, and second is everybody wants results. That is one thing. And in order to get results, not everyone wants to go and spend top dollars to do a surgery, or I would say one is our own critic. So when
Mhm.
I look myself into the mirror, people could say, oh, wow, you look beautiful, or you look great, or you have a good skin, or you have a good tone. And when we look at it, we will notice so many different things that what others are not noticing. So in order to look best, there is always a zone that where we could able to bring in that result. So my research started doing what could bring in that results in not in a harmful way. So started working with my own chemist and getting all those ingredients and how we could able to mix that in a good way, in a natural way that could bring in the efficacy results. That's all
Mhm.
matter. And I catch on that. That is my stuff. And even though it could be a best product until people know, they may not know. And then what we started doing is like crowdsourcing, giving different samples, using different companies to sampling it out, and then getting the actual feedback from the customers, whether they do see results in a week or within a thing. And this is all as part of an R&D funds. And giving it up, getting it up, and then improving the formulas accordingly and coming up with the best. And when it is in a right price, and when it is in an attractive bottle, and when there is a right set of marketing, and you give
Mhm.
the best ingredients, and it is going to be a success. And that's our mantra, I could probably say, for growing and do it. And all I say is just try it once. And we are sure that you would come back and we can vouch for that.
Yeah, and that's something that's really important. That term efficacy. A lot of times it's like natural and clean ingredients aren't always associated with efficacy, right? So that's a very important thing. So if you have both and you can demonstrate it, it goes a long way to convincing consumers.
Exactly. And there is always a myth and say, oh, if it's a natural cream and a clean product, it doesn't always bring that efficacy or that
Hmm.
result is something. And I would say it's a myth. It's not always true. Just because we take a normal turmeric and we can't apply the regular turmeric in face it. And there is also a myth like it is yellow in color. If you do it, it stains bad. But there is something in alternate. There is a white turmeric that we could use. It could bring in the same thing. And natural and clean, if it is the right composition, if you mix it in a right thing,
Hmm.
it will bring it. And many of it, there are certain things like take turmeric serum. It wouldn't bring in the immediate results, but I have seen customers saying after stopping, I could see a dullness in my face. And that's when I realized it's what I was using all this long is making my face fresh without even me realizing it. They could see the result. And in another case, like say the skin cell repair or the plant stem
Hmm.
cell repair or the dark spot corrector, they say I applied it and I see, and within a day, I couldn't see that. And it's like get gaining there is a say, right? Like the low hanging fruits. So even
Hmm.
in our face, there are some low hanging fruits which would, those spots, if you just apply once, it would fade away. And some are very strong, which you needed a week. And some are like little more stronger, needed a month. And you
Hmm.
needed to continue using it in order for not to come back. And that's the exact formula we use for all our products. And we keep the efficacy in forefront by mixing it with the natural and clean products. Same
Gotcha.
with
And do you,
rice.
yeah. And do you have a lot of education behind it? Because like right now, what you just explained to me, it's important for a consumer to know that, okay, maybe you're going to need to do it a few times or use it for a certain period of time before you see the results, depending on, the level of dark spots you want to get rid of or you want to, so do you have, what kind of education do you provide around your products?
So, in all different channels. So, education is the key.
Hmm.
I don't want it to sell another bottle to anybody. And first, I wanted to thank RangeMe and ECRM. They are whatever I am today is because of you. And I will come to that.
Hmm.
I wanted to discuss in detail. So, I'll come to that
Yeah.
next. So, when we talk about educations and stuff, I wanted to keep it and they people to follow me in LinkedIn. In LinkedIn, we have dedicated a page for Skin Centric, and
Hmm.
there are our team is constantly posting about why do they needed to use serums and what is it, why there is something like why do we needed to use sunscreen. So educating it in not just from Skin Centric's product perspective, in general idea about why people are going for a clean and natural product, what is sustainability, and why these products ingredients are
Hmm.
popular or why it is getting more attractive compared to another thing, and what goes into the ingredients and bringing it up. We do cover it in different areas, like one in our website we try to do it
Hmm.
through our blogs, and we do have a LinkedIn page where we educate customers,
Hmm.
and different things, social media, right? Like in Instagram and some and TikTok and some, and like interviews like this where I
Hmm.
try to like explain about it so the people will have the curiosity, so in that way they would go follow the page and they could able to get the latest notification and updates, and that's
Yeah.
what I'm doing.
Gotcha. Because it's not just, it's important for the consumers to understand, but it's also important for that associate in the store to be able to explain it too if somebody asks them about it.
Yeah, and in our website, we are very, very transparent. So every single product, it would show the benefits of it and what ingredients it's in that particular stuff and what size and all that. So it's not about just the description of the product. We also try to call out how to use, what
Hmm.
benefits you get, what ingredients goes into it. We would try to be very transparent about all of those because it's important.
Gotcha.
We
It is.
everybody, it's not just, there is a way of saying, right? Like whatever goes into our mouth, we try to be very careful in any
Hmm.
medication we take or anything. It's the same. Whatever we apply it in the skin, that is also very, very important. You need to know what you are doing it. So I felt being the transparent, being it gives the confidence for consumers to try that. And
Hmm.
once you try, it's that's where I wanted to sell, and because after that, the product itself could sell is how confident and about the products.
Yep. And like you mentioned before, the packaging itself highlights some of the key ingredients that you're
Mm.
using.
Yeah.
Excellent. So where are you distributed? What kind of retailers have picked you guys up already?
Uh, uh, Everything started off with RangeMe.
Hmm.
I should say. So last year, after all working with it, when I have a product, we did do a launch in Times Square, New York, the very
Hmm.
first time that's where we launched. And after that, we did take the subscription and stuff from RangeMe. And then RangeMe put me with ECRM. They said, like, why don't you just try with this three retailers initially? And that's where everything started going up. And every day I could able to see how many retailers are looking for it and how there are many ask for samples. And even while asking for samples, when there are 30 different products, they would easily ask somewhere between 15 to 20 just as a sample to be sent because each different ingredients are a different one. And when
Hmm.
they like it, and we within this 1 year, the growth that we have seen is thanks to RangeMe and ECRM. And I have participated in many ECRM stuff. And one cool thing about us, it's like you are specific to categories. I'm not coming into ECRM where I wanted to sell, say for skincare. I'm not there sitting and talking with some different expert, like say for body lotions or stuff,
Hmm.
or probably body lotion is not the right one, or like something to discuss about nail care or some cosmetic. So your category matching is something that I really love about, and you're giving that time, that dedicated time where we could able to do it, not like a trade show putting a banner and then waiting for somebody to do it, and all I could able to get is 2 minutes of that attention. And that, I'm not saying anything wrong with it. It's like from the CEO and from the company owner perspective, that's not always what we wanted. So I would say this, like matching with the right category and all that, and I've seen many success. To answer your question, we are very end of the day, we don't want it to sell all our products through our website. That's where we started, but eventually we
Hmm.
wanted to take a turn. So what we have done it, we started listing retailers right there. So when you go to Skin Centric, there is a button that says retailers, and we are segmented based on different countries. So which countries we are selling and who are all we partnering with. Say CVS.com or Walmart or like Cocotico, even from the recent one, and Beauty Bridge, every single one that we have is via you guys. And then that's how Skin Centric has become popular. And every single magazine started writing about us, and being a woman-owned company and woman-owned certified company, it's also an additional plus. And that gives and all our products is also diverse. And diversity is not something a checkbox is what I
Hmm.
see. It's a real thing that we wanted to give, and thanks to you all. And that explains. So you could see a list of retailers that we are working, and the list is just growing every day. So
Hmm.
we are getting our add-on every single day, and there has never been a single day without we getting a request from some retailer somewhere, even from Australia,
Hmm.
from UK, and in certain places we have the interest, but it's just that we are working on the legalities. And we
Hmm.
have lines of retailers who are willing to work with us in Europe, like say Belgium,
Hmm.
Germany, France, Italy. It's like the popular name brands. They are all so interested in getting us in. It's just that getting that VAT registered or making sure, taking care of that legalities.
Hmm.
And it's new, and we have to learn in the exact pace we are growing. So that's something hard to juggle. Um, and that's
Yeah,
where
but
we are.
it's a good problem to
It's a
have,
big
you know.
problem.
So,
Yeah.
so you, a lot of these requests, they're all coming in through RangeMe, like these international requests. They're coming
Yes.
in. Okay, that's
Yes, yes.
awesome.
So it's like a connection. Through RangeMe is how I got into Sencora, the
Hmm.
immersers, and they are part of the Miracle Connect, and that's how it is. And through Sencora, and that I met with from ECR. I
Hmm.
have to take it back. You guys had a session in Arizona, and we were there. And I personally, in all these ECRM, I personally tried to be there.
Hmm.
Instead of sending one of my team member, I personally wanted to be there, so I could able to meet it. So they could able to get that connection.
Hmm.
And that's Sencora. It's very second. I say all I have is 2 minute pitch. It's up to you. It's like it's this is all I wanted to say, and they immediately love it. Before walking out of the table, Sencora said like, "You are in, and I'll contact." And then that opened the door for 3,200 retail pharmacies all over the nation.
Wow.
And those are all not the top branded one, but it's like the small pharmacies. And
Hmm.
when I watched your recent one, and you rightly said instead of going behind big ones, which is going to take time. I have many that I have lined up for 2025, but I
Hmm.
wouldn't want it to say until it comes in person. But
Yeah.
before that, there are many small ones, like just like I was saying, low hanging fruits
Hmm.
versus reaching up high. So there are many. So Sencore, it was like a very smooth process within 2 months, and I was there. And that's because of ECRM. And I'm coming again in January, and I think I'm not going to leave you guys. It's like no matter how popular and how much I go, like coming into ECRM is like you learn something new every single time from every
Hmm.
different people.
Well, that's awesome. Well, so in the one in Arizona, so that was so you had the Range Me, what we call Range Me Live, where that was your first. It was like a you dip your toe in the water. So we give you three meetings. It's for Range Me customers that are premium or pro, and you
No,
get
that
three
happened
meetings.
in October of last
Yes.
2023.
Oh, okay. So that was before that. So
Yes,
that was the when we first started doing the Range Be Live, actually. So
yes.
so you had your three meetings, and then based on the success of that, you decided to go for full ECRM sessions.
Oh, yes. All three are, I think I still have a connect, and all three worked out. And
Hmm.
that is very rare. And
Yeah.
before getting into this industry, many said, oh, you are, okay, are you a skincare? Are you trying to sell it in a boutique? Or,
Hmm.
oh, you are doing on your own? And it's like, because that's how their mindset was initially when
Hmm.
started, even from our own family, friends, and all
Hmm.
that. Like, so how you're doing? Are you making it? Are you selling it up? And then when they met, and then when we started having it, they saw what we could able to bring it to the table, and then eventually they liked it. And many said, "Oh, getting into this world, it may take 3 to 5 years
Hmm.
to even get a break or one break." I think ECRM and RangeMe could fast forward that if we
Hmm.
like. So I really wanted many newcomers to know about ECRM and
Hmm.
RangeMe because you are literally fast forwarding that stuff with your direct contact, and
Hmm.
you guys putting the right touch of each one. Whatever is given to me was the right. You did give me a big, medium, and the distributor. That was the mix came
Hmm.
to me, so I could able to get to feel all three thing, and I'm working with all three. So
Well.
I got success in right from dipping my toe into it, and I said, like, you know what, this is what will take me to wherever I wanted it to be. And I just
Hmm.
grabbed it tight. I just took that opportunity, and I applied it, and I started going it. And from then, whoever my partner, like thanks to Katie, thanks to this, they are all like always bring away Craig, and now you. So it's like you all are bring away. You give us that kind of comfort. It's not that we wanted to meet only in the meeting and then you get banded, ghosted, or I've been ghosted.
Hmm.
Never been such a situation. It's always when I send an email, I can definitely expect within 24 or 48 hours in the max, or if it's a weekend, at least by early next week, I can definitely
Hmm.
expect a reply from you all. And that's awesome. And please continue doing it. And those are all the energy boost
Hmm.
for people like us, for business, for suppliers like us, I would say.
Well, thanks. I mean, much appreciated. We do really that one of the things that we say distinguishes us from everybody else is that high level of service. You get a real person that you can talk to, and they respond, and they're there to guide you from the beginning when you first register for a session throughout the session. They're usually there at the session, so you meet them in person, and then afterwards, and just ongoing, they're yours. They're your client success manager, and you brought up a really good point, and I think this is important for people to know, is that you came into this and you're not just looking for these massive retailers. Some people are like, oh, we got to get these home runs and CVS and all these massive. You're keeping your options open to work with the smaller ones, the independents, the distributors, and the big retailers at the same time, which I think is very important because, like you said, some you'll get in faster, and then some it's a much longer, like a CVS, it can take anywhere from 12 to 18 months from that meeting where they say we want it till you get on the shelf. And that's just because you got a lot of things to go through. Smaller ones you get on faster. So you're keeping your options open.
I would say, this is where, like any CEO or as any company owners have to have this expectation stated. The reason why these big retailers do not want to take these small brands in thing is because of unknown, uncertainty. They don't want it to burn all the small business or companies. Say like, they wanted to give hundred thousands, and if they give it, and if you couldn't able to deliver it, it's not gonna just break you. It's even from their side, it's gonna be a thing. So
Hmm.
these things, that's where these ECRM, when they start seeing you repeatedly, you will build that trust, you will build that confidence, and you will have that relation, and you will go from it. Take CVS. Right after the very meeting that we had in ECRM in Arizona, they really liked us, and they gave us an opportunity to get into their cvs.com platform, and which is nowadays everything is online. There is not
Hmm.
big difference, and people love to sit on their computer and they wanted to do it, so they give that gate open. And once they started seeing how we are responding to any orders we take it, how we are keeping up with our word, and how customers are reacting to these products, because even though it's a brand now, they have to take that lift because they are the ones selling these brands for the customer. So their name is also in that thing. So they also have to be careful. So please have this expectation straight, and not do not always just aim for the bigger ones. Eventually you're going to get there. If you're going to sustain in this industry
Hmm.
more than a year and more than year and two, you're obviously going to get there. It's just take one step at a
Hmm.
time and have that acceptance as a brand owner, as a supplier, or as a CEO, or as a team member of a marketing. So that's one thing I wanted to say. And
And
that
that's very,
kept open.
yeah, that's very hard for a lot of founders to accept because they want to grow super fast. But it does take time, and so the most successful brands that I've talked to, it's so they say very similar things. It's like it takes time. You're not going to get it from the first session or the second session. It's consistency over time. You build those relationships, you build the trust. I mean, I think what you said was extremely important is that it takes time for them to you know be confident that you're going to be able to deliver that volume year in and year out. And, sometimes they need to see a little bit of a track record before they put all of their eggs in one basket with you.
Yes, consistency is key. That's
Hmm.
that's one thing. And they wanted to see what it's like today, a new company, because every day there are thousands of brand comes in, and I'm sad to see that not many survive because
Hmm.
of any reason. And when a new brand like Centric comes in, unfortunately, the world everybody will have a doubt, and they all look at every single coming up brand is like, are they going to sustain? Are they going to keep up? They could say 100 promises as to start.
Hmm.
Tomorrow, what if that particular company filed bankruptcy? Or tomorrow they could say, okay, today I stopped doing my beauty brand and I jumped into a making a farm.
Hmm.
It could easily happen in today's world. So these brands, when even from their perspective, the future consideration or whatever they are saying, it's just because they like it, but they still wanted to give that time to see, okay, I see this is a promising one, but I still wanted to see how far they go. But that's where you needed to keep it consistent. Do not walk into one ECRM meeting and say, okay, I haven't got any luck. Okay, this is not going to work. No,
Hmm.
how often you go, maybe the first time, that's exactly what happened. The very first meeting, they said yes, they will do the future consideration. When I showed my second time, okay, this is coming, and I got few more, like 10% of us, 20% of us. When I go third time, then I got more. So the more you go,
Hmm.
the more you are getting registered in those buyers, and then the more you're going to grow. And one thing with the client partners with ECRM, you did mention the word that they guide. Yes, they do guide. when you say that, okay, you are a new one, you're coming, I don't know, like I'm trying to do, I wanted to do it, and then every dollar you put, you wanted to be careful, they will come with a customized plan. They could say, okay, maybe to start with, do this particular one,
Hmm.
and then do this. Take a 10-minute versus 20-minute, maybe do the 20-minute. So they are always there. So when I know that there is somebody to have my back, I think
Hmm.
what else I need to worry about? And
Yep.
you saw my growth, just making the right move, the right approach with the right mindset. Success is always behind you. So you cannot spell success without you, and that would is for you and
Hmm.
for people you're working with, and that's how I see.
It's a great way to look at it. It's a great way to look at it. So tell us about your the way you handle the meetings, right? So you did touch on it before, where you have a quick pitch, and so what is your method of handling the meeting? How much presentation? How much Q&A? What kind of how do you start? What's the icebreaker? How do you handle your buyer meeting?
Honestly, I've seen success, so I'm going to break the secret here. So every meeting, say 10-minute meeting, and it is a marathon. You have to keep on doing it,
Hmm.
and you need to understand you alone are not showing it to different buyers. Buyers are also looking at different suppliers. So every single supplier they are meeting, or a brand owner they are meeting, first thing you needed to register yourself to that thing. So what is unique and stand out? So whenever whoever I meet, I say, hey, listen, I understand we both are having our marathon and we have a 10 minutes. The clock is ticking.
Hmm.
And I'll take the first 30 to 45-second pitch and I'll say, this is how I would like to do. I want you to see and then see if you're comfortable with. And what the way that I say is, I will give 2-minute introduction, 2-minute pitch. That's all. 2 to 2.5 minute pitch of who I am, what I'm doing, and why I'm here. Uh, as a founder and CEO and representing Centric. And then I would say I'll take 2 more minutes to understand what the buyers are. Because before going into these meetings, ECRM is already giving everything prepared about the
Hmm.
buyers, their overview, what they are doing, how many stores are doing. Do your homework right. So I do my homework right and I do my research, and I will give a minute to say from the buyer's perspective, even before they say, I
Hmm.
will say, I know this is what you're expecting, this is what you wanted, you're looking from it, and this is how I feel skin centric could be a fit in these areas, right? Not every single product of mine would be a fit, but there is always a way that
Hmm.
we could able to customize it. So I will, in that 2 minutes, I'll give that customization of what they are looking for and how I could see skin centric could partner with it. I will give that. And then I'll say, we'll have a 5 minutes conversation. That's how I frame. So 1 minute it's taken off. And with that 5 minutes, it's mostly I'll give 6 minutes a good time, solid discussion.
Hmm.
So even 10 minutes will feel long. And that's the
Hmm.
secret. And so many, like even one or two that has not been interested, it's not because of the pitch or nothing. It's because it may not fit into that category or
Hmm.
value retailing or the price point. It's just because of that. And I've never heard any single one have said that, oh, I don't trust in your brand or stuff. Never ever had that kind of a
Hmm.
feel. Is because I exactly know how I'm going to cover in that 10 minutes. And that's where I did mention in my very first meeting, I try to be in all these meetings rather than sending my team member.
Hmm.
And my team member, I have to give a shout out. Whoever as I've worked, even from my corporate world, they stood by me and they are still working for me, and they all get a big I would say share of the pie when skin
Hmm.
centric becomes good. So to call out, take Divya, take Ben, take Ginny, take Nitya, and then
Hmm.
many, they are all part of it, and my supporters, like people, my friends, and my stuff. Without my team, I'm not where I am
Hmm.
today. So I wanted
Well,
to
that's awesome.
mention that.
That's great. I'm glad that you did that, and we'll make sure we give them a shout out too in this. And I love your approach to the meetings. I think it's great. That discussion is important. They don't need to know everything in that, and the way you position it so that it's relevant for them. And you're right. Not every single buyer you meet with is going to be a fit, and brands have to understand that that's not a bad thing. Maybe you'll be a fit later on. Maybe you'll never be a fit. I mean, it may not just, but that's okay. You don't want to be everywhere. You want to be in the places where you're a fit because that's what's going to sell. You don't want to sit on a shelf and not move at a retailer you shouldn't be in the first place. So
Exactly.
it's a
You're
great, that's a,
taking a space, and do not think everything or do not consider everything to be okay. This has to be a potential. It may not be a potential place to do it, but the connection you establish, you're going to learn something from them.
Mhm.
And maybe the new product line that you're trying to focus in the future, you could take this in your strategy while you're establishing your next innovation. As
Yeah,
how.
because the feedback from the buyers is important too.
Mhm. And you see more and more, say for instance, if more and more are looking only for natural and clean, then that tells you, okay, maybe we needed to start that. So I'm
Hmm.
just giving an example. So when more and more says this is where we needed to have the value, or store shelves, when we are getting a store shelves, you needed to be mindful. It's not always about you, it's about
Hmm.
others. If one somebody is going to keep that in the shelf, it has to be a fast selling. They do not cannot afford to keep your products in their shelf for a longer time.
Hmm.
They also need to do business. End of it, it's all about business. It's all about fast selling. They wanted to keep the trendy
Hmm.
thing in their place. And everything cannot sit in a small shelf.
Hmm.
And that is something you needed to be considerate about. So when we could vouch, just because I have 30 product line, I always don't recommend uh, buyers to have all 30 lines. Maybe that's not what they wanted. If they
Hmm.
are selling more of the lip care, maybe it's going to take a smaller pace. Try with that. So
Hmm.
you should always give an option. And I say these meetings, it's like when they get that confidence, they would work with you. And
Yeah.
that's how I feel. And always me, instead of working with companies, working with it, I feel it's always work within people makes a
Hmm.
big difference. It's like how as if like, I think this is our few meets, and I always feel like I know Joe for a long time, and then I get that comfort. So work with people, do not
Hmm.
work with brands and stuff. And then if you, if you are a good soul, if you have a good things in your thing, only good things will come to you. And I always believe huge in positivity. And
Yeah, no, I'm there with you. Same thing. I mean, the way you look at it is you're solving their problems. You're helping solving, they're learning about them, learning what their problems are. You're solving their problems, and you build that relationship. And in the long term, that is what's going to drive the growth, and it's going to drive growth sometimes in areas that you don't expect.
yeah, that's true.
So at our sessions, so aside from the buyer meetings, right, there's you have the networking functions and you get to meet with other brands and stuff too. Do you take advantage of all that?
I'm trying to, honestly. I'm good with talking. Even if
Hmm.
you want me to address in front of thousand, like I'm doing a Euro America, like I'm one of the women leader of
Hmm.
2024 from USA, and I'm doing a Euro America speech. So even if you ask me to address thousand and give a speech, and I'm good at it, but networking is something I get so stressed, and I feel like, okay, how am I gonna go in? What am I say? I'm trying to get. I do understand that's
Hmm.
my weakness, and I'm trying to open it. And with good friends, like from Chain Drug Review, say Chris Stanton, he's good. He said,
Hmm.
like, me, I'll take you in. You don't have to worry. And then introducing. Then once I know it, then it all becomes good. So that's something I take that as an areas of opportunity, and I'm trying to do it. And you're doing a very awesome founders innovation, and like upcoming
Yeah.
lot of things is coming up. So I'm trying to take part in all those and trying to
Yeah.
socialize and trying to um I don't want to leave any stone unturned. So
Well, I'll help you
we're
with that
working on.
because I'll be at Founders Innovation Day. In fact, I'm moderating a panel discussion there with two brands. So yeah, so
Can I see there?
better attend my panel discussion.
I will.
But yeah, so that's great. And talk a little bit. So as you use RangeMe, use ECRM, what is the value to you of leveraging both? Like how do you leverage both together?
I would say you. I think there is a connection. There is
Hmm.
no one without another, is how I see.
Hmm.
How I see range me is an everyday. Okay, let me put it this way. Everyone goes to work every day, but they do go to like there is a meeting you attend every day, that there is
Hmm.
something that you attend like a quarterly or
Hmm.
a thing which is an highlight. And
Hmm.
every day you do a dress up, but there is a place like where if you were going to wanted to attend, you will try to take that extra caution and do it. That's how I see ECRM and RangeMe. RangeMe is an everyday thing. You get hit from retailers that they search every day, and then there are ongoing submissions, there are category submissions. You can get a peek at it, but ECRM is the main connection where you get that one-on-one connection. There is no one without other. If you feel like, okay, I just take range me, you it's like you can see success, everything, both of it is like good in an individual own way. If you're gonna go to ECRM, good, you're gonna get to see success. But if you have paired both with one another, I would say that you're gonna get extra bonus points, extra benefits, and it's an extra credit. That's how I see. So this is everyday people do look at your profile. They would look into your profile page and they
Hmm.
ask for samples. You can submit once a year. You could able to send it for different
Hmm.
categories. There is ongoing categories. You can look at the category review depending on the dates and all that. But ECRM, it's giving that one-on-one connection.
Hmm.
So if you pair both, your success percentage is more. Instead of say that you're going to get 50, if you add it, you get 70, you get 80, you get 90.
Hmm.
So that's how I see it personally.
That's that's perfect. I couldn't have said it better myself. That was perfect. So last couple of questions, as a woman-owned business, right? You're involved and this is kind of outside of the product thing, but so women-owned business, you engage in outside associations and try to help empower other women business owners. Can you talk a little bit about some of your activities there?
Oh, sure. First of all, getting a woman-owned certification, oops, it's not easy. We did get one from her headquarters, and we have an active application with WBENC. That's
Hmm.
a big thing. That's a feather on the cap, and that also I got it through RangeMe, that
Hmm.
connection, the premier certification. So I'm working on it. So I'm happy for all that. The reason why I very particular about this women empowerment and all that. It's like a very big word. We are in 2024. We still talk about women empowerment, and very few are still are actual women CEOs and stuff.
Hmm.
Because the way women brain work is way different. That's something I really wanted to call out. And every single man or man, I wanted to categorize it, not just husband, not just dad, not just a brother or a friend. Everyone would have seen that why they would say different things. It's like however strong we are, the same we are different in many ways. So
Hmm.
I did do an abstract which I'm talking in Euro America about women psychology and all that. I've taken an abstract and I'll definitely post in LinkedIn and I'll tag you so at least
Hmm.
you could read that. So the reason why I'm doing it, there are a lot of women out there. They have different passions. They have different ideas. They wanted to do so many things, and women are always multitasking. They are very good at it, if you see, and but they don't know their own style, and they cannot do one thing at one time. You would have noticed that in your own
Hmm.
family. They would be watching something on the TV while they are working something on it, or while they are making a list, or sometimes they'd be watching a movie and they will be listening a song. I do that many times. They say like, why are you doing two different things? And that's how we
Hmm.
are very good in multitasking. So these women empowerment, and I'm also doing a fund, and I'm also part of UNA. I'm working with JB Dondoldo, Lumbi Mulambo. Like I wanted to give a thing. She is behind getting a clean water
Hmm.
for Zimbabwe, for Africa, where those women and then small child have to walk several kilometers just to get a clean water. Why they are doing it? It's because if they go and do it, they cannot go to school. So that's why the young women children are like trying to go and get it.
Hmm.
So I'm trying to see across the board, as I mentioned, the diversity, the women, the men, all those differentiation. I don't want it just to be a checkbox.
Hmm.
what can I do in
Hmm.
order to be it? Like one will not know their strength that's hidden behind. And especially if I could do it to my own community, it's not you alone being success, you alone being happy, or you alone being your pocket full and you're taking care of your family.
Hmm.
If your community is not happy, if your world is not happy, no matter how much money or how much you have, you're not going to be happy. Imagine if the world is undergoing a war, that particular, it is a war zone. Just
Hmm.
because you have everything, you're not going to be happy because you are part of the community. So that's how, right from my childhood, that's how I always think. So having that, and I wanted to do something for it. So that's the reason I always try to take care in different women in data, women empowerment, women mentorship fund. And wherever I could able to make a difference and be part of it, I'm in it and I'm just supporting it. So if they have an idea, they don't know how to implement it, then I wanted to be their support to say, I could get you a perfect implementation plan on how to do it. But
Hmm.
again, one other thing, as I said, women are good with multitasking. I have several women approach to me. One day they talk about their passion being A, second day their passion about B, C, and three, and they are very confused. They don't know what their true passion is.
Hmm.
In those cases, I tried to sit and talk more, and then we needed to find out, okay, which is gonna take more and which is realistically approachable, and then that could be implementable. There is a word, right? Like just because you have a passion on something, not everything can be implemented and be success. So I tried to coach that too.
That's good. Give them a little direction, and
Yes.
that helps. So, okay, last question. What's next? What can we expect over the coming year or so?
Uh, like next is like I do think we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. If I could make a difference, and if I wanted Skin Centric to be a part of solution, and then if I could able to be a win-win for the retailers and thing, that's what it is. And I'm not focusing only on US. Wanted to take it global. Hopefully, good luck for me on all those legalities. When what next is every single retailer stores and everything will there wanted Skin Centric to be a solution and wanted to collaborate with different retailers. That's one thing. And it's a win-win. When they are doing it, it's like they are supporting a woman-owned business. They are not by giving an opportunity for Skin Centric in their store. It's not just they are giving it for Skin Centric. They are giving that trust for many behind me
Hmm.
who are uh, eager to do it, or our future generation, or our kids. It
Hmm.
will give them that trust, and then focus is like, okay, not just every brand is already out there. There is still something that we could able to create new in this competitive world. So me growing or Skin Centric growing and being in the shelf is giving confidence and trust, not just for one or for current generation, for the future generation too. So I wanted to set this path, and if I could make a change in anyone's personal skin approach or from their back balance or making it a success, then I feel I have achieved something. So that's what next. And Skin centric is going to go. That is one thing I could assure. We would not limit ourselves just with a skincare, hair care line. It's going to grow. Anything, any problem or issues, when we think from the beauty brand line, skin centric for sure be a solution for it. And that I could vouch. And that's the future.
Excellent. I love it. Love it. So, well, I look forward to seeing that growth, and I look forward to actually meeting you in person. I'll see you at the Founders Innovation Day, and I will see you at our beauty session in January as well.
Yes, and this is something I think this relation is going to continue for long. And
Hmm.
one day I will be the one sitting and talking to other person and saying, "Hey, if you are looking for a growth, please do come for ECRM, and I can vouch it." So,
That's right. We love it. And you know what? I will help you with your networking in January.
thank you so
And
much.
we'll get to do an in-person follow-up video.
Oh yes, thank you. Bye
Thank you
bye.
so much.
Take care.